Welcome back, everybody. This is part 2 of our little section on. Basically, Kyle brought up cartoon shows back when we were kids, so that would have been the 90s.
We extended past cartoon. I think we're also talking about live shows as well, too, right?
Right.
We brought,
basically,
Bill Nye and whatnot.
What we used to watch on television. Yeah. So the past section was kind of more about things that are on public access, like ABC and the WB and PBS. Stuff I didn't have cable growing up, so stuff that I watched. But I did. Well, every once in a while, we would get to go to my grandparents' house, and they did have cable, and they did let us watch cartoons, and so I did get to watch some Nickelodeon Cartoon Network. So, but you guys are the experts, so I'll let you guys take it away.
First time I got to, the same kind of scenario when I first came down to Texas to see my grandma was the first time I got encountered with Cartoon Network, and it was like Dexter's Laboratory, Cow and Chicken,
Cartoon Fridays,
Johnny Bravo, and I was just like watching all these cartoons, like
what? This is amazing.
When do the cartoons end? Oh, they don't
end.
Get out of here! And then my mom told me we're moving to Texas, and life was a little better.
No, I do remember that. Like when I saw them at first, and it was just like one after the other, and they were all funny. They were all like really great animations, and I was just like, this is amazing. Like how is this a thing? And it just blew my mind, like you said. And then and there were multiple channels. Like, if like Cartoon Network was, had something on it that I wasn't really into, like I'd switch it right over to freaking Nickelodeon, and like usually there'd be something on there, and I was like, whoa, that is nuts. So,
no, they were good channels.
But I definitely remember, like you said, Johnny Bravo, great. Cow and Chicken, awesome. Dexter's Lab, awesome. Powerpuff Girls, great. I mean, they were all. I don't think I'm missing any like that were like cartoon.
I thought Johnny Bravo was really good because it definitely gave me the idea of what I should not do growing up and how I should not act.
It is. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thinking about children.
From that era, there was also Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Ed and
Eddie.
Buttered toast.
I feel like because our little brothers like that, I was like, I can't like that show.
Well,
I did, but I was like, I can't be a part of this.
Ed and Eddie was definitely our little brother's show. They quoted that to like a point of annoyance sometimes.
But your little brother used to carry around a wooden plank, and he drew on it. And for a while, he just had a plank like half a year or something.
that was actually really cool.
There was one time I took his plank and he couldn't find it. He's like, where is it? I can't find it anywhere. And I had taken it into the garage and I'd actually like burned a mustache on it. And he was so upset. He was like, you burned the plank. He's so hurt. And so he like threw it away and made a new one.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Buried him in the backyard.
That's pretty intense though, like having your own plank. That's really like in a show. That go ahead.
I was going to say, like, looking at this list, this was a little bit before all these shows, but there was Rocco.
Yeah, man.
Rocco's Modern Life.
Switch over to Nickelodeon now.
Yeah, that's true.
Here we
It's
go.
a bit of a cross.
So Cartoon Network was what I was really into. Like, I liked the Nick shows, but I don't know. I think growing up, maybe you can attest to this. Like everyone was like Nick.
Yes.
So like that was probably something in the back of my mind all the time. Like I don't know if I want to watch that channel. But I did. I got it. It was fine. But anyways,
it took me a while to get on the Cartoon Network wagon. But
I was there from when I first started.
Powerpuff Girls helped, man.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Did you guys watch Cartoon Planet?
Cartoon Planet?
Yeah, when Space Ghost became like a talk show host and all, because there was Space Ghost coast to coast, but then like Cartoon Planet was like, let's take that and make it even weirder with just him and Zorak and Brad.
Brad.
That was like such a. I had because they had so many songs on there, and so I had the albums of like that, and then doing like the skits and just listen to that over and over. Yeah,
I like beans.
Yeah, like the "Don't Touch Me" or just on and on.
Don't touch me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, I remember. Great. I remember getting that soundtrack from you in like 6th grade, being like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is on the CD. This is amazing."
Oh man.
Yeah, the Nick shows, like the live action game shows, I never got into.
Oh, those were so good. Actually, I say they were good, but really they just pissed me off at how bad those kids were at them. Like they're like the monkey statue. Like, come on, it's 3 pieces.
Like, if you've ever watched the show before, you know how to put that thing together.
Well, see, okay, to that extent, I do think they like filmed multiple episodes in one day, and maybe like those kids hadn't seen it. But at the same time, like,
Yeah,
it's 3 pieces to a statue.
They could have done it over a summer and then like just aired them over because that's true. Some game shows have like a season where they tape all their episodes.
Yeah,
and then they just
I can see that happening, and they add new things every year or something.
Do we say the title of what we're talking about? Of Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Okay,
for those of you who don't know,
is that where they got slimed?
No, that was on some of the other ones.
Okay,
that was like you can't say that on TV and
or Figure It Out.
Figure It Out, yeah.
Got slimed.
And Double Dare and all those.
Double Dare. And,
I just knew the game shows that got slimed on. I was
with Legends of the Hidden Temple, what I will forever think of when we were in choir in college and we all started on a single note and half of us went up by a half step and half of us went down and it created like that beginning sound. It was like, you will go into the temple. And like all of us were like the right age. Like when we heard that sound, we're like,
our director,
we're all staring at each other.
Our director's like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Why are you guys freaking out on us?
Like, we'll always think of that.
And I was the guy that was like,
you were the one person that
I'm just like, what are you guys doing?
What's happening?
Yeah, like Nick Arcade. That looked
that was so
cool. Awesome.
Where you are, it's like a video game and then you're in it. So it must have been
like
all green screen and stuff, but it looked like a kid running around through a side-scrolling video game.
Sensors so we would interact with the
We should just do that now.
And collect coins.
Yeah.
Maybe they do that now and we just aren't watching it.
We
don't have kids, so who the heck knows what they're watching these days. Right, yeah.
Just stick it right in your face.
Yeah. Well, and I'm trying to think.
VR Nick Arcade. We'd have to get one.
Oh, dude, I don't know. They definitely. I mean,
Nickelodeon
made some pretty bad video games back in the day, but I think nowadays they could probably get away with some stuff.
Well, Nick had Rugrats. I did watch. Did like Rugrats.
Well, they had All Real Monsters as well.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't watch that one as much, but I do remember with the
y'all fought last night.
Yes.
My massive bodies.
We played D&D last night, and one of the monsters, Kyle's our DM, and one of the monsters he came up with was actually like Crom, the guy.
Yeah, it looked like Crumb, but like he wasn't holding eyeballs.
Yeah, he had armpit hair.
Just imagine him like 15, 20 feet tall, something like that.
Made out of
individual undead
limbs.
bodies.
Yeah. Thinking of that animation style, it was a little bit later in the era, but that the Wild Thornberries.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Because Tim Curry being Nigel
Curry,
was
man.
like
Nigel.
Smashing.
hello, Hoggy. And all that.
Yes.
Like the best.
Man, the Wild Thornberries were amazing. That and I just thought of it, the other show.
Rocket Power.
Yes,
Rocket Power.
Same style.
So good.
Do you guys know who did Donnie's voice?
No.
On,
Flea.
It was Flea.
Yeah.
What?
Flea did Donnie's voice.
That's
yep.
awesome. No, Rocket Power. I remember Nathan and I when we watched Rocket Power. That's like all we wanted to do. It was like they had the best life. Like they just go like they skateboard everywhere, rollerblades, snowboard, surf. It was like. And that one, I can't remember the dude's name. Like the one adult that was like always around. That was like
Tito, the big
bigger
Hawaiian guy.
That was always just like he was just like cool with whatever.
And then their dad's name was Ray, and he was like it's kind of like the dad who like probably was not a great dad,
like
but then like the mom died probably, and he was like I've got to get on it.
Yeah,
got to step up. I'm gonna start making these sweet burgers on the pier.
Did it take place in Hawaii?
No, he was
on the coast, I think.
He was just a Pacific Islander. I don't know if he was Hawaiian.
Well, no, I was trying to remember if it was on like an island or something.
I don't think so.
No, I think it was more like Malibu or kind of like
California. Spot
similar to that.
The pier and everything.
Yeah.
So
that show was great. That and Invader Zim.
Ooh,
what channel was that?
That was
Cartoon
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, it was Nickelodeon.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because I liked that show. It was a little bit darker. But
it was dark.
I found myself like at first I was kind of like I don't know, but then the more I watched, I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like I like this.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
This.
It's just weird in that right way,
Yeah, Rocket Power. I just remember like I would always be sad because like I remember at my grandparents' house like we had the TV guide and with theirs like they had like the special one that had all the cable listings and stuff. Or I think it was maybe like the top part was all of the public access channels, and then the bottom part was all the cable channels. And I was like, yes, I can finally look. Because I remember when I would go home, I'd see like, oh man, like Cartoon Network's playing now. Like I could be watching that. But I was just playing Nintendo. So
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
But that's another one.
Yeah.
Toonami, man. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. What was the anime that was on really late on Toonami?
Actually, Adult Swim started as specifically like an anime thing, and then over time it evolved because Adult Swim had like one of the first nights they aired, they had like Ghost in the Machine. I think they played Akira.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was supposed to be like an anime based kind of like evening thing because it was more mature content.
Yeah.
But then it spun into their whole like wacky cartoon thing that they do now. Like. A Super Jail and bringing in Brad Neely and Metalocalypse,
Robot
all those
Chicken.
guys.
Yeah, all the insanity of that.
Did y'all ever watch Home Movies or what was it? Home?
Yeah, that was one of the first ones. I've seen a few.
Yeah, because that was the guy who did Metalocalypse. I think his name's Brandon Small. He did that beforehand, and if you haven't watched that, the animation on it's pretty. Not shoddy, it's purposefully done.
It's
but
wavy.
Yeah, it's very wavy.
Oh, that show.
Yeah, so definitely one to check out. It's very interesting. If you like Archer or John H. Benjamin in any sense, he plays a coach.
John Benjamin.
Yeah, he plays.
I never made that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's weird.
It's a big thing. And yeah. So good, fun show.
Here we're gonna again, thanks to our camera of the day, we're gonna take a little break. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, we're back from our little break talking about all the shows from when we were little chillins.
Once more to the brink, dear friends.
Yeah. So I think you were talking about while we were setting everything up, Snick. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Nick.
Yeah, so it was just the evening like for the teenage cooler kids, I guess. So they would have all that.
Yeah.
I did know
Birth of a genius man, Kenan Thompson.
Yeah.
Glorious.
Keenan and Kel?
Keenan and Kel,
came from all that. So all that and then later Keenan and Kel.
Good burger and
Good
all.
burger.
Yeah.
Good burger. So good.
Burger.
Action League
burger.
now.
Oh my God.
I was about to bring up Kablam earlier, yes.
Oh, that was right. Okay.
And Stinky Diver.
Kablam.
Kablam was like a good
Bob and all that.
good collection of like animated shows. Chuckamation, is that what they called it? Where they it's basically what why am I blanking on this? What Robot Chicken does now, where they use action figures and
make little stop motion stuff.
Stop motion stuff.
There you go.
So,
Yeah,
but that was like one of the first ones that I ever saw was Action League Now.
Yes, actually, that was great. Oh, man.
Man. Was it Action Now or Action League?
I think it was Action League Now.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. And
Yeah.
don't want to mess that up.
Yeah. Was Are You Afraid of the Dark on that one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
I was not a fan of that one.
No, I love that one.
Yeah.
I always
It could be.
Was it legit scary? Or?
That's
much
what
for
inspired
me
me to throw
sometimes,
Kool-Aid into a fire to make it like change color.
Does that work?
Yeah, totally. You can
Was it just the powder?
Yeah,
I
just
guess
the
it would have
powder.
to
You
be
just throw the powder in there.
Just dump it
And
on
it's
there.
like,
That was a dumb thing to say. Oh man.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I mean, you mix up Kool-Aid and you dump it on there, and surprisingly, it doesn't put the fire out.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it
Burns
does.
harder. Magnesium.
It takes all the K-cals and that and just beefs it up.
Well, and what else? Because I know these are all like kind of when we were like in elementary and middle school, but when
Getting up there.
Yeah, when we got into high school, I don't know. I didn't really watch that much TV.
That's when it became like Dragon Ball Z and
Gundam Wing.
Gundam Wing, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I still, I mean, even at that age, I still watch like Dexter's Lab.
I was gonna say it was
Yeah.
a lot of the
Johnny
same.
Bravo.
Yeah, it kind of just reversed. Well, and I will say that when my parents finally got cable, which was when I moved out and went to college.
Timed it right.
Yeah, they did. Which is Nathan got to partake in the cable while he was at home, but it's whatever. I'm definitely not bitter.
He's probably like slouching in his room with the coax running into his arm and whatnot.
Like,
give me more.
But anyways, I remember finding that channel Boomerang, which is like all the really old cartoons, like the Hanna-Barbera stuff, like all of it, Snagglepuss and Yogi and the Jetsons and
Rocky and
Flintstones,
Bullwinkle.
Rocky and Bullwinkle, like all those.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
And like,
yes.
and it reminded me,
Which
like
that was on Cartoon Network.
that's what I was gonna say.
For a
Those were
while.
on Cartoon Network every once in a while.
Yeah.
They'd be playing on top of the little logo, the C and the N's and whatnot, and
Of course, and then Rocky and Bullwinkle had Sherman and Peabody.
that
was always-
the wacky races.
Yeah, the wacky races. Those were always
That spun off into its own show.
Yeah, it did.
That was awesome. Like
Yeah.
a full 30 minutes of these ridiculous cars and destroying each other.
What was great about that is like my parents would like totally just like, oh yeah, like Snagglepuss, let's watch that. Like, oh yeah, so
or El Caban.
Yeah.
Well, and like later, like towards the end of the era of what we've been talking about was the birth of SpongeBob. So which is still running strong now.
That's true, man. SpongeBob has been going, and The Simpsons, of course.
Oh yeah.
Well,
that was a show my parents weren't crazy about me watching, but I would sneak upstairs with Nathan and we'd try to watch it because it came on around the same time that Yu-Gi-Oh did. I think right when Yu-Gi-Oh ended, The Simpsons started. And
that was always like kind of geared more towards older people anyway. I don't think that was ever. I don't think that was ever put out as like a hey.
It was like a primetime thing, for just any primetime show.
But there were a couple on Nickelodeon where it was like, oh, these are for kids, but they're kind of inappropriate.
I mean, is it a mistake to say that it was like one of the first like animated things that wasn't really for kids that really like hit off?
The Simpsons, you mean?
Yeah,
because it's starting back in the 80s.
With something like Rocky and Bullwinkle that had some, adult stuff in it.
But not like The Simpsons.
Well, I know it wasn't as blatent, but like some of those older shows like had stuff for the adults in them so that they could enjoy it too.
Oh, that's true. Well, I definitely know like stuff like Ren and Stimpy and Rocko's Modern Life, all that stuff was just
I would watch it and be like, I don't know if I should be watching this, but I like it.
Well, that's fine. No, I remember my parents not being crazy about The Simpsons, and they were also not crazy about Rugrats for some reason. I don't know.
Weird.
That was weird.
I always thought it was strange because when I would watch it, I'd be like, I'd always like look for things then, that was like, and then The Simpsons was always clear whenever there was something that was like maybe not great. But then Rugrats, I was like, why do they like this? Maybe like just the animation, they were like, nah, this is, turn it off, turn it on to something else. Because they'd always be like, turn it, okay, fine. Like, but
they didn't like the free spirit of Tommy Pickles. Thought it might put some ideas in your brain.
Yeah, maybe.
This boy's gonna start putting screwdrivers in his underwears
or whatever, playing with Reptar. But SpongeBob's another good one. That's like really that started when we were in middle school.
99 is when it started.
Yeah,
they even had a new one out like last month.
That's crazy.
They're only making them once every like 2 months now or whatever. But I think they've earned that given how many they've put out, and that they're still good.
Do
now,
a movie here and there,
a couple movies. And
Wait, which one's this?
SpongeBob.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Because that one was a classic. Just watching. Whenever we were in high school and stuff, just turning it on, it just was so goofy and
even in college, too.
Even even today, you would say. What are some of those other ones that are like a kind of a more modern, like when we were in high school? I don't know. When I was in high school, like it turned into homework and band and stuff. And starting the band, obviously, it took up all the time.
There was more gaming.
Yeah, the gaming really took over in middle school.
That's definitely true.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, which is weird because now we've got Netflix, and so how that YouTube evolution has happened. It's like gone from us talking about all these shows and having to schedule your morning around it, and make sure you have all your breakfast ready, and like whenever
right after school, and
when I was in high school, like I would mow lawns and stuff, and it didn't revolve around television. I don't know why I brought that up. I just have to schedule it into my day. If maybe I would want to sit in bed and watch old cartoons, but it's like, no, got to go out and make $20.
So, buy that next N64.
No, more like just buy games at that point. I'm still playing the Nintendo 64 in high school. But gaming did really take over. I feel like that for me at least, because and like I keep belaboring, I didn't have cable, but that really did. I had certain times when the shows came on that I wanted, and other than that, it was stuff I didn't really care about. So I was like, well, just go play Nintendo 64. And then when it turned out to be awesome, and I loved playing it, I was like, well, I'm kind of cool with not having a ton of TV. And I think my parents were like, yes. Like, oh my gosh. Because they were never, like, we would like talk about it, like, so maybe getting cable. My dad, I think, was always kind of more on board because you could get ESPN on cable. And he was like, yeah, maybe we'll think about it. But, back then, like, all the cable packages were huge and they were giant and, yes.
Cool.
Yeah. So anyways, so it was always just, and he actually started playing the Nintendo 64 as well, and he actually for the longest time had the top score on Star Fox. And so Nathan and I were always like trying to beat his high score. And
it's got to be hard with your old man holding that spot.
It was not cool until we finally did, and then we borrowed my friend's Game Shark and she cheated on everything. So which was great because then we unlocked like being the characters in the multiplayer mode. You can actually run around and stuff. So, yeah, it's just weird to think about like how that, and going back to kind of the earlier things we've talked about with Pokemon and how the industry has kind of like, you know, it's like I feel comfortable saying like I have no clue what that industry is even like now because I just watch. Like we don't have cable at our house. No. Like no, I mean I don't think any of us do. None of us have Uverse.
Well, there is a cartoon out there that I seriously have a problem with just the idea of the title, and it is called Uncle Grandpa. Think about that for just a moment.
Oh, I've seen it now.
Yeah. No, think about that. The title alone, no, stay away.
Yeah, Uncle Grandpa. That one comes on before Adventure Time, which go watch Adventure Time.
Yeah, there is that.
Adventure Time is
of course.
Is awesome. That's a show where if I had kids, they'd be watching Adventure Time because it gets sometimes it's a little scarier and like the concepts are pretty like lofty and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like I watch some pretty weird
going,
stuff.
Though, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Like
definitely has some adult mentions and
those.
whatnot. Like I think the episode where Jake is talking to Finn about
the tears.
The tears. No, don't go there.
15, you stay away from there. Yeah,
not ready.
But I mean, it's just weird to think that like now, when I was a little kid, maybe when I was gonna grow up, like I'm gonna have cable. When I'm old enough to have my own place,
live
I'm
the
gonna
good
watch all
life.
this cartoon business, and now it's like. There's no. I mean, we have Netflix. It's like the one service we pay for, and it's like that is plenty with like all the stuff that's on there. And if there's a show we want to watch, like we try to watch Bob's Burgers on Sunday nights just because we love Bob's Burgers. And so contribute to the ratings there, keep it going. But we have Apple TV and Netflix, and that's it. Like it's all we need.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and it's just nice to think about, like, man, back in the day, like, I wish we could have done that. Like, just buy Cartoon Network, just get ESPN, and not have to lump everything else into there. Which maybe there were. My parents were just like, nah, don't worry about it.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah,
I was thinking it was like the beauty of what's going on,
and
how hopefully these individual companies will just be able to rip the cable providers
a la carte
menu. Like cable providers just go the way of the dinosaur.
And it's kind of weird to think about what kids these days are doing. If they have Netflix, it's like there's
most of them are watching YouTube. They're probably their main channels are probably on Twitch.
Right. Yeah. But it's just kind of weird to think about, like how when we were, kids having to schedule, like make sure you're sitting there watching.
Set up the VCR to start recording. Specific times.
But again, with the camera on, we're gonna probably go ahead and wrap it up here today. With all the. But in the comments, if there's any shows that we missed or ones that you were a big fan of, you should
let us know.
Sound off.
Yeah.
So we've enjoyed having this little nostalgia meetup here.
Always puts you in a good mood.
It really does, because
I will say,
good times.
If you can't watch these shows by buying them, you can probably stream them online. And since they're not being played probably on cable, like some of the older shows, like Alex Mack or Rocko's Modern Life, that kind of stuff. If you want to check them out, don't
Hulu
hesitate
has a lot
to
of those
stream
now.
it.
Yeah, Hulu's got them.
Yeah, it's true. They might be on your favorite viewing services.
Anyways, let us know if there are any you missed or any that you love, and we'll get back at you with some music here.
Yeah.
So, adios.
Later.